Hi guys, today I have such an exciting video and I was away for a trip for like 10 days and I came home to this package. This package got delivered to me like quite early. I love that Odens Eye does this with all their influencers, is they actually send out our stuff in advance so that we have a lot of time to really play with the products and showcase them for you guys. So this is obviously the new collection from Odens Eye, and when I opened this box, I can't tell you how many times I literally gasped out loud and I was like, wow, because I didn't know what was going to be in this collection. I had only seen like a couple of sneak peeks that they sent me in the email when they asked if I wanted to receive it. And oh my god, like the things in here, I'm so excited. So I'm gonna actually do 5 looks with this collection. We're gonna be trying out all of the products in here. I'm gonna try to keep the intro kind of short and the rest of the video kind of short, just so it doesn't end up being like an hour long, but let me just go ahead and show you all of the products that are in this collection. So they are coming out with individual highlighters and these look freaking stunning. Like when I opened these, I was like, holy moly, like these are such beautiful, iridescent, sparkly, kind of shifty highlighters, and I am so excited to try these on my face. I don't think that the footage that I have that I'm showing you is doing these any justice, because honestly, you just need to see them in real life because they are, oh my god, like one of the most beautiful highlighters that I have ever seen in my life, and I hope that they perform as good on the face as they look, because if they do, these are going to become some of my absolute favorites. Currently, when I'm filming this, I don't know the prices of any of these, but after I've shown you all of the swatches, I will have an overlay on the screen with the prices of everything, because like I said, it's still quite early, so they haven't actually sent it to us yet. So let's move on. Let's talk about the blushes. So Odens Eye already has blushes, which I have been loving for the longest time. Ever since they sent me their blush collection, I've been using them and using them and using them, and I'm so excited to have some more. So they've come out with 3 matte blushes as well as 3 sort of blush toppery shades, and I was so intrigued by these because usually I'm not like the biggest fan of blush toppers, but I feel like these colors are such that I'm absolutely going to love them, and I can't wait to like just try all of these things on my face, because that is obviously way more important than, you know, just looking at them and swatching them and being in awe over how beautiful they are like in the pan. But you need to just try them on the face and see how they perform. But they looked very, very pigmented. I do maybe wish that they had a couple of darker shades, but I do think that these are pigmented enough that they will be able to be used on a lot of different skin tones. At least I hope so. That's not up for me to say, because I obviously am not able to tell that just by using them on my own, but hopefully that's going to be the case. But they look absolutely beautiful. And they also came out with such a random thing. I opened this and I was like, wait, is this a mirror? So they came out with a mirror, and it's a double-sided mirror. One has a 3x magnifying side on it, and the other one is just a regular mirror. So super, super cute. And I feel like this might end up being helpful if, like, on the few times that I end up doing lashes, I think that having a magnifying mirror like this that I can hold close to my eyes is going to be really helpful. So I think that's a really cute touch that they came out with a mirror to go with this collection. I don't know if I said already, but this is called the Solmåne II collection, which is, they already have a Solmåne collection with a lot of other products, so this is like the extension to that. And of course, in this collection, there is an eyeshadow palette, and the eyeshadow palette, oh my god, the packaging on this, when I tell you that I did not know what was in this, so the surprise of opening every single item, it was like being a kid on Christmas morning and just getting to see all these cool presents that, you know, you got sent, and it's just, I love it. I love it. It's like my favorite thing of being on YouTube is getting packages that I don't know what is, and then being able to open them and seeing stuff for the first time. It's just so much fun. But this palette is absolutely stunning, and I think that they killed it with the color story. The shimmers look absolutely insane, so sparkly, so dimensional, so metallic, so yummy, and the matte selection in this, so beautiful, so versatile as well. I love that there's a black matte, and I can't wait to play with this. I can't wait to just do a ton of looks with this. Like I said, I'm gonna do 5 looks. Could probably do 20 because this color story could do so many things with this, but it is absolutely beautiful, and I'm so excited. And the last thing in the collection is also something that I'm way more excited about than I should have been. I don't know if you guys watched a video where I was like, guys, all of my eyeliners have basically dried out, and I'm tempted to just buy a whole new set of eyeliners from ColourPop. And then I get this email from Odens Eye, and they came out with a full set of eyeliners. It's like my prayers were answered. It's like they knew. Like, they were like, Annette needs new eyeliners. We're gonna make her new eyeliners and send her a new set. Like, that is how I feel with this. And I just can't wait to have these in my collection. I hope that they're good. I didn't do any swatches with them because with eyeliners like this, I find that sometimes they can be a little bit fragile and I didn't want any of them to break. I just want to use them on my eyes and see how they perform. But you can obviously see the liners and see what colors they're going to be. And I opened them and they look so pretty, like so pretty. So we're just gonna jump straight in. We're just gonna go ahead and do the first look. And I'm not gonna be very thorough with like explaining what I'm doing because I am going to be doing a lot of looks in this video. So I just want to keep like the actual portion of me applying the eyeshadows kind of short. And then at the end of the video, I will sum up like my thoughts on the collection, but I'm just going to show you like how things apply and then we'll talk about it kind of more after. Just priming with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base as per usual. Also, I do have a code with Odens Eye. It's just Annette and it will save you 10% off. It will work on all the items in this collection. It is affiliated, but it will also help you save a little bit of money. I'm going to start here with a shade called Dream. I want this to be mostly just like a purpley look because I'm wearing purple and I just feel like matching. So I'm going to put this in the front portion of my crease. Next up, I'm going to take the shade called Galaxy, and that's going to go in the outer portion of my crease as well as underneath my eye. Like, can I just say how pigmented these shades have been so far? They are performing so well and they're so pretty. Oh, I love these colors together. Just taking a little extra of this in the outer corner of my eye. I don't really want to use any of the deeper shades for this look because I know I'll be using them a lot and I don't want to always have like the darkest shade in my outer corner. So I'm just going to use this as my deepening shade, but this is already like as deep as I would need for it to be because this is building up so nicely. I'm going to take a little bit of this orange as well because I just want to have that in the front portion of my lower lash line. Just for an extra pop of color, I'm just going to put this right here and blend it into the purple shade. Just putting a small layer of my NYX glitter primer on my lid before I go in with the shimmers. And I'm gonna start with this shade here, which is a dark purple. This one is called Hallucinations. Just gonna pick that up on the sticky side of my brush and I'm gonna put that basically in the outer half of my lid and then we'll do a lighter shimmer in the inner portion. I would say this is probably like the least intense out of the shimmers in this palette, but I don't really mind that since it is also one of the darkest shimmers in the palette, and I love that most of the shimmers in here are quite light because that is definitely like my preference when it comes to eyeshadows. I definitely prefer to have lighter shimmers and darker mattes, so this palette for me is like so up my alley. It's not even funny, but this is beautiful. And for the front portion, I'm going to take this shade in the middle of the palette. I can't help myself. I just need to try this. This one is called Starry Sky. And when I swatched this was probably the shade in the palette that I was the most excited about. So I'm just going to put that in the front portion of my lid here. That is so sparkly. Oh, I love this. I would definitely recommend using this with a glitter primer or spraying your brush though, because it is a little bit of a dry formula. So you do want to have just something to help it stick a little bit. But oh my god, that's so pretty. For my waterline, I'm going to try to use this one. This is the shade 08. It's a beautiful lavender. We're going to see just how these perform. It's looking a little bit darker, I would say, than it does on the cap, but it's going on the eye very, very nicely. It's taken a couple of me just going over it a few times to get a very opaque application, but it's definitely nice and pigmented. Yeah, that's really pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off with my eyes and then we can do some blush and highlighter together as well. So I think for the blush, I'm going to use this one. This is the shade called Sunset Clouds and it's a beautiful pink shade. Definitely picks up quite a bit on my brush here and we're just gonna go ahead and apply it. That is a beautiful, beautiful color. Very nice and pigmented. I think that, like I said, this is probably going to work on quite a lot of skin tones despite it looking kind of light in the pan, but these are very pigmented blushes and you can really build them up, which is why I love Odens Eye blushes so much, because you guys know I love a pigmented blush and I really like the color of this. This is so beautiful. Definitely a matte blush though, so if you're not a matte blush kind of person, you might like the blush toppers a little bit more. But I'm a huge fan of this, and I know that I'll be getting a lot of views, especially out of this color. This is so pretty. And then for the highlighter, I want to use this one. This is in the shade called Rose Sky, and this looks to be a duochrome. Like, this is sort of a peachy, like a peachy purple duochrome. It looks so pretty. Let's see, I'm gonna use this brush. This is just a large eyeshadow brush. Just gonna dip in here. It picks up very, very nicely. And I'm just gonna go ahead and, yep, that's beautiful. It is quite glittery though, so if you don't like a glittery highlighter, I don't think you're gonna like this, but ooh, that's really, really pretty. Big fan of these highlighters so far. That is stunning. I'm gonna take a little bit of this as my brow bone highlight as well. And I love that there's a little mirror inside of this, because usually when I do a brow bone highlight, I like having a mirror in my highlighters, but this is really, really pretty. So I threw on a lipstick as well, and this is the final look number 1. I love it. I cannot wait to play more with this palette because, oh my god, the sparkle in these shimmers and the pigmentation of the mattes, so beautiful, so pretty. I think we should just go ahead and jump into look number 2 because this is already probably a long video and I don't want it to end up being too long. So let's move into the second look. So I have about 30 minutes to finish this look, or to finish the rest of my makeup, so I don't have a ton of time. So I'm just gonna get straight into this. I'm gonna start with a shade here called Solar, and I want this to be a very contrasting look between the warm tones and the cool tones. And I'll show you how to do that when I get to that point, but let's start off with the warm tones first. So I'm gonna take the shade called Solar, and I'm gonna put that basically into my crease. I'm gonna make this a very, very round shape because I do wanna do like a big blue wing, and I do want the wing to extend past the outer edge of this eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this shadow down first, and then we'll blend it out with the yellow shade. Taking the shade underneath my eye as well. And with a different brush, I'm gonna go over the edges with the yellow. Like I said, this one is called Warm Light. I'm loving the pigmentation on that shadow. Like, that looks so nice and is way more pigmented than what I was kind of expecting. You know, usually with the yellows, it's tough to get like a really, really intense yellow, but I feel like this one really packs a punch. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my colored eyeshadow base from Suva Beauty. This is the blue one, so basically just a primary blue color. I'm gonna put some of this onto my brush here. And I'm gonna use this to basically create the wing that it is I want. And if you don't have a product like this, maybe a gel liner could work, or you could probably use eyeshadow as well, but I find that it's just easier to get a precise application when doing it this way. I'm just gonna connect this to the top of the hood of my eye, and then I think I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in this whole thing with this blue eyeshadow base, and we're gonna layer all of the blue eyeshadows basically over the top of this. I am gonna layer the dark matte over this as well, just to make it a little bit darker, because I do find this to be a little bit lighter than what it is that I want, but it's nice to just have that sort of base down here so that I know where to put the wing. I'm basically just making sure that this is high enough up that when my eyes are open, I can see like the whole sort of wing when I look straight ahead. And I feel like these are not perfectly even, so I'm just gonna work on this a little bit before we go in with the eyeshadows over the top, but this is definitely starting to come together. I'm gonna call this good, and next up I'm gonna take the darkest of the matte shades in the palette, which is this one. This one is called Nebula, and I'm gonna take that on a small eyeliner brush here, and I'm basically just gonna make this like the outer portion of my wing. I just want to make sure that this is nice and dark, so I'm just layering it over that base. I'm getting a little bit of fallout with this, but that is totally my own fault for using a very, very tiny brush with a very pigmented color. So I would say just be a little bit careful when using this shade and make sure that you either top off your brush or really like pack it onto a tacky base here. Switching to a bit of a larger brush here just so I can put on a little bit more of this. I just needed to be really precise on the outer portion. So I'm just putting this onto my lid now, and then we're gonna go in with these shimmers and sort of layer those over all of this, and I think it's gonna end up looking really cool. I feel like I've done a look similar to this, like color-wise, a couple of years ago, but I really enjoyed it and I wanted to do something similar because I just wanted to have like a very contrasty look. And I also just wanted to keep playing with these eyeshadow bases because I'm still kind of learning how they work and figuring out whether or not I really like them, and so far I think I like them. I wish they were a little bit more opaque, which kind of goes against the name of them because they're literally called opaques, and I don't feel like they're super opaque, and I also don't feel like these are even. But maybe I can fix that when I put the shimmers on top. So let's see, let's do these two shimmers, I guess. I'm gonna start with this one right here. This one is called Deep Space. And I'm not going to use a glitter primer with this because I just don't want to have like too much products on my lid since I already have quite a bit going on here. I'm just going to go ahead and spray it with some Fix Plus. And I'm going to start that in the middle of my lid and sort of drag it out and meet it up with the matte. And then I'll do the sort of turquoisey shade in the front portion of my lid. Next up, I'm going into Mercury, giving this one a spritz as well. And I'm just gonna put that on the rest of my lid. That is really pretty. Ooh, that is so beautiful. Oh, I love that. Gonna take a little bit of the shade here called Sunlight. I'm spraying this one as well. And I'm just gonna put a bit of that in the front portion of my lower lash line. For my waterline, I want to try to use this one because it is beautiful. This is the shade 09. It's just a really, really pretty blue color. I will say these are definitely not the creamiest eyeliners that I've ever tried. I'm having a bit of a hard time just getting this into my waterline here. So I definitely got it in there after a little bit of work, but I'm going to go ahead and finish off and we can come back and I will do some blush and highlighter as well. Okay, so the eye look is done. I'm gonna use this blush today, which is a beautiful orange. This is the shade Orange Sunny. I'm gonna be quite heavy with this, but I just wanna see how pigmented it is before I go absolutely crazy. And I am also using a natural hair brush, which usually picks up color a little bit better, but that is so pretty. Definitely very, very pigmented though. So I would say be a little bit careful if you don't like a lot of blush, but you guys know me, I love a lot of blush, so I'm living for that. That is such a cute orange blush moment. And for my highlighter, I thought I could try this one, which is called Pink Star. Oh man, that looks so beautiful. I don't know if it's gonna go with this look though, but this is like a peachy, yellowy something something. And we're just gonna see because I am very curious. Okay, that is beautiful. It definitely has a very strong pink shift to it, which I'm not sure really goes with this look, but oh my god, I love that. Yeah, that's beautiful. Ooh, really pretty. Just gonna take my blush brush and just tap over a little bit so that I can sort of tone down the pinkness and just pull in a little bit more orange, but I love that. That is really pretty. So I just put on a lipstick and this is the final look, and I think this turned out really, really cool. I'm having such a good time with this palette so far. I can't wait to keep playing with it. So like I said before, I think we're just gonna jump into the next look just so this video doesn't end up being way too long. But let me know how you feel about this look because I love it. Okay, shit, so I just realized that I forgot to put on my microphone during that whole look, so let me just talk you through what I did and then I will run the footage because I suck today, so. For the eye look, obviously you see what I'm wearing. I used the orange shade. I basically took that all over my lid as a bit of a base for this eye look and I blended it into my crease. That was the shade called Warm Light, and then on top of it I took the sort of orangey shimmer which is called Sunlight and I sprayed that and I put that all over my lid as a bit of a orange smoky eye. Nothing fancy at all, super simple. For my lower lash line I used a shade called Neptune and I just kind of smoked that out. Again, nothing fancy. I wanted this to be a really easy look. And then for my inner corner I used a shade called Starry Sky And I also used a bit of a eyeliner from Glisten Cosmetics. This is a water activated liner, and I did a liner as well as a couple of dots just because I wanted something a little bit extra because the look was very simple. And just to finish off, I did some orange in my waterline because I wanted to try out one of the eyeliners as well. And I feel like the orange eyeliner is definitely the best one that I've tried so far. I felt like it went in the waterline very smoothly, and it was way more pigmented and opaque than the other two colors that I've used before. So far I really like that one. And then to finish off with my face, I used two of the blushes. I used the lighter of the blushes as a base for the blush topper. So first I put on the shade here called Warm Sun. This is the matte one. This is beautiful, such a pretty color. And on top I used a shade called W103, which is more of a shimmery blush. And I think that they worked really nicely together. I didn't even really feel like I needed a highlight, but I did it anyway because I wanted to try out another one of the highlighters, obviously. So I used a shade here called H103 Warm Sunshine. This is a beautiful, beautiful highlighter, and I really like this look. Like, it's kind of crazy, but I'm so living for it. Like, I love the little details, and I feel like it just adds a little bit of something to a look that was very, very easy to do. And the details also took like no time at all. So all in all, this was a super easy look, and I really like it. I'm also wearing one of the cream lip stains from Odens Eye on my lips because I love these. This is in the shade Sweet Tulip. If you haven't tried these and you plan on making an order, would highly recommend because they are amazing. So I think that's going to be it for look number, I guess we're on look number 3 now. I'm really excited to do 2 more looks. I've been having so much fun with this palette. So let's just jump into look number 4. We are going to go all blue for this look because I want to play with the blues. You guys know I love blue eyeshadows. They are my absolute favorites. So I'm thinking I want to do, since I haven't used this pastel, I have used a dark one, but I'm thinking we can pair these two together and have it be like our crease shades, and then probably just do this shade all over the lid. Like, I know I've used the blue shimmers, but again, like I've said before, I'm going to be using multiple of these shades multiple times because I'm doing a lot of looks and I just feel like pairing these together. So we're going to start with a shade here called Soft Cloud, which is the pastel blue. And I'm going to put that into my crease as my transition shade. I'm not going to do anything fancy really for this look. I'm going to do a pretty basic eyeshadow shape, but I want it to be nice and intense. Gonna see how dark and dramatic I'm able to get that dark blue matte, which I think is going to be amazing because when I used it in my, was it the second look? For the wing, it was insanely intense and pigmented, so I think this is gonna look great. Slight change of plans as per usual, but I saw this shade and I realized I haven't used it, and this is a beautiful purple, so I'm actually going to take this purple under my eye and then use a little bit of this in the front portion of my lower lash line. So I'm going to go in with a shade here called Dream before we deepen up this look, and I'm just going to basically take that underneath my eye. I'm just going to smudge this out here. And then I'm going to take the shade called Nebula, which is the dark blue shade. And I'm going to be a little bit careful with this because when I did use it last time, I did get a little bit of fallout. So I'm just going to make sure I pack this on nicely and I don't go in with too much on my brush here. I'm just going to start that in the outer corner of my eye, and then I will use it to deepen up the crease a little bit. I don't know if I want to take it all the way yet. Having a little trouble building that on top of the light blue. I'm not sure if you can see like that sharp line that's forming. I'm not really sure why that is, but sometimes with pastels, it's hard to layer other shades over the top of them. And I feel like this dark blue isn't sticking as well. It's just taking a little bit of building. Like, it does seem like it builds, but you need to just take a little bit of extra time and put on a little bit more product just to get these two colors to really mesh nicely together. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of a, not a bald spot, but just a spot where the color hasn't stuck as well on this eye as well. So I would say not the most buildable shade. So maybe go in with this one first if you plan on doing like a very intense blue look, because I feel like this doesn't layer as good as some other dark mattes that I have from Odens Eye, and I'm not really sure why that is, but that's just kind of what seems to be happening here for me. So I'm going to take a little bit of the black as well because I haven't used that one. This one is called Black Hole, and I'm just going to see if I'm able to deepen this up and layer this one a little bit better and see if I can get a more opaque outer corner. And this one actually does seem to layer better than the blue, which is good because now I can really get a super intense dark blue look here. Just going to put on some glitter primer on my lid before I go in with the shimmer. And like I said, for the shimmer, I'm going to use the turquoise. This one is called Mercury, and I'm so excited because I know I'm going to love the shade because I just love colors like this. And I think I'm basically just going to put this all over my lid and also layer it over that black shade, and I'm going to love this look. Ooh, this is so pretty. I'm basically going to be matching with my earrings today, and I am so here for that. So like I said, I am going to layer this over the black a little bit because I do want this to be not like super dark all the way. I do want like that brightness from the shimmer, but I also want the darkness in the very outer corner. I think this looks really nice already. I'm probably going to go in with a little bit more of that dark blue and layer this over the shimmer again, just so I get a nice gradient between the shimmer and the matte and just pull in that blue a little bit more, but very happy with how this is looking. Going in with a little bit more of the dark blue here, and I'm just tapping that between where the matte and the shimmer meets. And I'm also going to take the shade called Meteor, which is this beautiful, beautiful shimmery purple that looks so pretty. I'm going to spray this a bit. And I'm just going to put that on the front portion, or really like half of the lower lash line on the bottom, because I want to have like that pop of purple, because I just think it's going to look really, really nice. For my waterline, I want to use this mint shade because it's basically going to match with my lid shade, and I think it's going to look really pretty. This is the shade 04. It seems like these kind of just needs to be broken in a little bit, because when I first tried to put it in my waterline, it didn't really work, but then I just swatched it a little bit on the back of my hand, and that seemed to sort of work and warm up the eyeliner. Yeah, that definitely seems to be the trick. So I'd say if you get these, just give it a little swatch on the back of your hand before you try to put it into your waterline, because that seems to just make them work a little bit better. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off with my eyes, and then we can do the cheeks together. The eyes are done, and we're gonna go ahead and put on some blush, and I can't wait to use this. It looks like such a beautiful pink blush, and this one is in the shade W101 Roseate Love. And I'm gonna see, I have swatched this already, but I just wanna see if I really dig in there, if like the overspray kind of goes away. And it seems like there's not as much of an overspray on this one as there was on the orange one. So I'm expecting this to be quite a glowy pink blush, if you wanna put it that way. So let's go ahead and try this on and see. Okay, so it's definitely not as like pigmented. It has pigment to it, but it's more of like a glow than anything else. So if you're on the fair side, this would probably look amazing on you. If you're any darker than I am, maybe not the best blush color for you, because as you can tell, it's more of just adding that sheen of pink rather than adding like a really blushy pinky look. It's very pretty. I think for me, this is definitely going to be more of a blush topper in the future, which is probably like what is intended to be as well. But like I said, if you're any fairer than I am, you can probably use this as a blush on its own, but I feel like this isn't quite as pink as I would have liked for it to be. And you can see on my nose, it's definitely more just like shiny, but it's still really, really, really pretty. I am going to just put on a little bit more of a pink blush because I do want this to be kind of pink. And then I'm just gonna go back over this again with the blush topper so we can still get that sheen, but I just needed a little bit more pigment for, you know, my liking and my preferences and what I like in my blush, because I do like a really nice and blushy look, but this looks beautiful. Like that is exactly what I wanted. I just needed a little bit more pigment underneath before I got that result that I like. And so for my highlighter, since we are doing a lot of blue, I thought we could do the blue highlighter as well. This looks so pretty. This is the shade called Azure Shine. And let's see, what brush am I going to use with this? Let's try this one. Yep, that is certainly blue, but like a very wearable blue highlighter. That looks really pretty. Now keep in mind, I do have a lot of glow on my cheeks already, and it's kind of blending in with that blush, but that looks really pretty. that just adds like a really subtle sparkle of blue, and I really like that. Gonna take some of this on my brow bone as well. And also a little bit just in the inner corner of my eye. That is beautiful. I love this look. Yeah, this looks great. Every single thing that I used for this look, I think looks amazing. So that's gonna be it for look number 4. I think for look number 5, I'm probably gonna have a different hair color. I do plan on dyeing my hair tomorrow, so maybe you'll see that next, but you probably have seen it already because I'm kind of pre-filming this video quite a bit, so if it's a surprise for you, then hi. So I think we're gonna go ahead and start with the face today because I only have 2 of these left that I haven't tried on my face yet. So we're gonna pair these together. So first off, I'm gonna use the blush in the shade Peach Glam. I don't know why I saved this for last, probably because I think it's gonna be my favorite, and I'm so excited because this color looks so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. I'm guessing this is gonna be quite pigmented because it is a little bit darker. But like I said, I love a pigmented blush, and this is such a pretty color. That is such a beautiful orange. It's not like, I mean, it's orange, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's not so orange that it looks extremely orange on the face. Like, it looks like quite a wearable orange shade. I don't know if that's coming across, but I feel like it has almost like a peachy pinky undertone while still being orange. I guess it's more like a cool tone orange. Is that a thing? Is there such a thing as a cool tone orange? Because I feel like that's kind of what this is, but it is beautiful. Like, I get it, it's quite intense right now, but that is okay. I'm gonna make sure to even this out with the rest of the products I'm gonna be using. Sometimes I feel like if I do my blush first before I do my eyeshadow, it does look kind of crazy just because the cheeks are like so there, but then once I get my eyeshadow on, it all kind of balances out because that's also quite intense. So we're gonna try this highlighter. This is in the shade Mood Talk. This looks so pretty. And I kind of feel like this one is going to be my favorite highlighter as well. It's like a, how would I even explain this? I don't know. Let's go ahead and just try it on. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh yeah, I love a highlighter that has a bit of a like a goldish shift to it. This is almost green though. Like, that is so pretty. Maybe it doesn't go as well with the blush as I kind of thought it would. It's definitely leaning a little bit more green in the shift than I was expecting just from looking at it in the pan. But oh my god, I can't wait to use this like with another blush. I think this is so pretty. I love the formula on these so far. I think that they are beautiful, and I think that because they have like that transparent base, it's going to work on every skin tone, and I think that they just did such a good job with these face products because they are wonderful. I think I want this look to be mostly like a purple crease, so I'm thinking I'm gonna do this one sort of as like my whole crease shade and then deepen it up with the black. Maybe I'll do the yellow matte in the inner corner and then do like something fun on the lid, maybe like a pop of this to kind of go with my hair and like do that contrasting look again. I feel like with a palette like this, since there are cool tones and warm tones, I really like combining the two because I just find that it makes for really interesting looks. So I'm gonna take the shade called Galaxy and I'm just gonna put that into my crease. Gonna take this under my eye as well, all the way across, and just work on blending the shade out on its own before I deepen it up. This is one of the reasons why I love Odens Eye mattes this much, because they're so easy to manipulate and you can use one shade to add dimension, but you could also sort of blend it out on its own, and you can do very, very easy looks just using very few shades. I am going to deepen this up though just because I like to, and I'm going to take the black and I'm going to be a lot heavier with it this time. There's a little bit of kick up in these shades, but not something that I am too concerned about. But I'm gonna make this really, really dark in the outer corner of my eye. Probably gonna take this like halfway through my crease as well as a little bit underneath my eye just to get that really nice and smoky contrast. Man, that is a really good black. It is one of those blacks that are sort of satiny, which in a way makes it really, really easy to work with, and it's also really smooth on the lid. It builds up nicely, it blends out nicely. I love these kind of blacks. They're so easy to work with. Love a good smoky purple moment. So I think all that's left to do is I want to do the shimmers on my lid. I'm just gonna see what I've already done just to make sure I don't do anything too similar. I'm thinking I want to just use the two blues on my lid. Like, I know I already did that in one of the looks, but my crease was very different. So I think I'm just gonna go in with these two on my lid and this one like underneath my eye on my lower lash line. So I'm gonna start with the shade. This one is called Deep Space. So I've already put down some glitter primer and I'm just gonna layer this blue shade over the top of that and blend it out into the black, saving room for the lighter shade in the inner portion of my lid. I really like this blue. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. Just going in with the other shade called Mercury, and I'm gonna put that in the front portion of my lid. I know I said maybe I was gonna do yellow in the inner corner. I think I'm changing my mind. I think this is going to be more of a cool tone look, but maybe I can use one of the very light blue mattes in my inner corner. Maybe that could be kind of fun and do a matte inner corner kind of look. I don't think I've done that yet, so I think let's go ahead and do that. But before I do that, I do want to put a little bit of the purple underneath my eye, so I'm going to take this shade called Meteor. I'm going to spray this a little bit and just put this right here. I'm then going to take the shade here called Soft Cloud, which is the matte pastel blue, and I'm just going to pop that in my inner corner as my inner corner highlight. I'm going to be quite heavy with this because I do want this to be very bright. It's maybe not as light as I was expecting it to be and hoping for it to be, but maybe if I had used some kind of a white base underneath, that would have changed it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the highlighters and layer over the top of this because I do want this to be a little bit brighter. I definitely could have layered a little bit of white over the top of this as well, but I feel like it's not as sort of popping as I would have liked for it to be. So I'm gonna layer some of this one over the top. This is the shade called Lavender Dream. Just gonna put that right over the top of the blue, and this should lighten it up a little bit and just give it a little bit of sparkle. How many times can I say a little bit in a sentence? Probably too many. But that's what happens when you don't have a great vocabulary. It's okay. So I think this is all I'm going to do for this look. I'm going to go ahead and finish off. I need to put on a lipstick, finish my eyes, and then I'll come back and I will give you my full review of this collection because I certainly do have some thoughts. All right, so let's talk. Let's talk. There's a lot to go through, but I guess we can start with the palette. So my thoughts on the palette after using it 5 times now. I'm pretty sure I've dipped into every single shade. Did I use this shade? That is my only question. I'm not sure if I used this shade. This might be the one shade that I didn't use, but so far I think that this is a beautiful palette. I've said so many times during the looks, I love the color story of this. I think that you can do so many things with this. You can go in so many directions. You can mix the tones. You can do monochromatic looks. You can basically do whatever you want. And I love that there's a black in here. I like the variation in the mattes and the shimmers. I think that there are a lot of different textures in here, and I really appreciate that. Like, there are some more sparkly shade, there are some more normal metallics, and there are some that are a little bit more, not satiny, that is not the right word. Like, they're definitely more intense than a satin, but they're somewhere in between like a satin and a very, very metallic shimmer. And those are like more of the darker tones, and I really like that because it makes it easier to blend into mattes. And I think that overall I have no complaints with this palette. I think it is stunning, and I don't know, I really like it. The face products, I think that they are beautiful. I do wish my only, I don't even know if I should say criticism, but I wish that there were just maybe a couple more like pinky toned blushes, but I get it. They had a lot of pinky tones in their other blush range, and they wanted to obviously make some colors that they didn't already have. But I think that the oranges in here are so pretty, and I think that the blush toppers are so pretty. I think the highlighters are so pretty. The packaging on everything is just like out of this world. It's so beautiful and so thought through, and I think that if you were to pick up any of these, you will be as blown away as I was when I first opened my package, because when you see them in real life and you see like the imprints on them and you see the way that they sparkle in the pan, oh, they're amazing. I'm so happy I have them. The eyeliners is the only thing that I felt like it took me a little while to sort of get into. And like I was saying when I was doing my looks, I feel like the best way to get the most out of these is to kind of warm them up on your hand a little bit beforehand. But I also do have to say that they are a little bit fragile. Like the one shade that I used today, just number, let's see, 009. I think I used that in one of my other looks, but I have played with all of these pretty much on and off camera, and this one did break on me, but that can be the case with like a lot of these gel liners, or is it gel? I don't know, but you probably know what I mean. Like this one kind of just came out. So like a little part here broke off, so just be careful with them. Like don't be very rough because they can break, but again, I mean, this happens, like this happens with the ColourPop liners as well, and this isn't anything new, but just be careful with them. But other than that, I think that these are beautiful. The only shade that I don't really like, and I haven't used all of these and I haven't swatched all of these, so I don't know for sure, but shade number 10, like 010, this one is actually a metallic, and I didn't realize that, and I'm not a fan of metallic eyeliners in my waterline. It looks really good swatched out, but I feel like it's just hard to get them into the waterline. So this one isn't my favorite, but all of the matte ones are wonderful, and I'm sure that they will have descriptions online if you are going to pick any of these up. This collection launches on the 20th, like you saw in the beginning of the video, and yeah, let me know if there's anything that you plan on picking up. Do you have any questions for me? I can definitely try to answer them. I think that's all. Also, the mirror is really, really nice. I've been doing some lashes using the 3X side of this mirror, and it's actually been so much easier to apply them. I'm not wearing lashes today, obviously, but having this mirror is really nice. I can't use it to like do my makeup on camera since it has two sides on it and it's going to reflect everything. But other than that, I think that they nailed it with this collection. I think everything is beautiful. Everything is amazing quality. I think if you pick anything up, you're going to be really happy with it. And yeah, that's basically going to be my review. I'm sure you've probably watched other reviews already because I know a lot of my friends have videos up already, but I felt like everybody would probably post their video the first day that we're allowed to post it, and I didn't want to overwhelm you with another one of the videos about the same collection, so I thought I could put it up like the day after or another day after that. I'm not sure when this is going up, but yeah, thank you so much for watching as always. If you want to see some more Odens Eye content, I will of course have my playlist up on the screen, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.